Namaste everyone, and welcome back to another video. I wanted to make this short and sweet. We had a class on the chakras, and I am always not satisfied after a little class because there's so much to talk about when it comes to the chakras, and of course it's a lot of information for you to take in just in a 30-minute class, but there are books and volumes and several sacred texts that talk about chakras. And there are various different yoga systems. I think we briefly talked about it when I had the initial class where we talked about Ashtanga yoga and Hatha yoga and Kundalini yoga and Tantra yoga, which originates in the Buddhist and the Southern Indian traditions of Sri Vidya. That is something that I practice, and Tantra, unlike a lot of other yogic practices, is very much related to expansion in your body. So I think of three words, and that is to engage, enlighten, and expand your consciousness. And when you think about, a lot of the yogic traditions, they emphasize on how you consider yourself separate from the body, or your higher, your consciousness is separate from this physical reality that you're in, and you want to always be in that state where you're not connecting to your physical body, but you're connecting more to your consciousness or your higher state of being. In Tantra, they have a very interesting belief, and I like to practice that way because I feel it really simplifies. And being from a scientific background, and all of you are too, we're so grounded in what we see in our 3D world that everything has to be experiential for us. It has to be an experience rather than someone telling us like, oh, well, there's this consciousness and it's something that is we can't really see it, but it's there. And so I believe the path of Tantra and the path of the chakras really helps bring that expanded state of understanding and the enlightenment, where you realize that our physical body is just an extension of our consciousness. The physical reality that we're seeing is an extension of our mind. It's an extension of our thoughts and our emotions. And definitely, if in a scientific perspective, or bringing a lot of, bringing a lot of connection between the scientific basis of what are the body changes physiologically that are happening while you're practicing yoga, comes through the energetic changes that happen, and in that the physiologic changes and how it's connected. And we talked about the different layers of the body. We start with the physical body, Annamaya Kosha, then we go into the emotional body, we go into the mental body, then the wisdom body, and then the final layer, which is the bliss body. And what we want to live as is that multidimensional state of awareness where we are connected to every single layer of our existence, not just the physical body. And the chakras become gateways in which we are connected to these different layers or extensions of us, and eventually connected to our higher self, or the universe, as I see it, as the source creator. And you start with, and there are various philosophies that talk about, the background of the chakras and how they came to, the consensus understanding of these meridians and energetic lines. You have Chinese Oriental medicine that, use acupuncture as a therapeutic procedure that work on removing blockages, or, acupuncture is based off of, using needles on specific energy points in the meridian lines that are mapped out on the body. Similarly, in the Vedic philosophy or Tantric philosophy, we have nadis and we have chakra points. And these chakra points are 7 basic points, and these there's a consensus across the board on these 7 points. And that's why, even though it's considered more of a Western concept, it's really to simplify and understand where these points are located. So as a new beginning practitioner, we can understand these points in our body. So that's a brief introduction on the chakras. I did draw a diagram in our class, and I really, as I said, I feel these classes are very, very brief and not enough in time to deliver the information, which is very, very expansive. But that's where, you know, Swadhyaya comes in, which is self-study. And I would highly encourage you to do that. And hopefully this will be an important part in the future for your medical careers, and something that you learn in medical school and not have to wait for a study like this. But we'll start off with, so there's 7 main chakras. What I have focused on in this video is the lower 3, and then we'll talk about the remaining chakras in another video. And what I had mentioned before is the lower 3 chakras are basically your grounding chakras, or the chakras that you really want to work on as a beginner, because they form the foundation of your spiritual path. They form the groundwork of what you're going to be experiencing later on. It gives you a very, very strong foundation. So that being said, not to make this too long and repeat it, the first one is Mooladhara chakra, which is the root chakra, and it is located at the base of your spine, right where your coccyx bone is. And that is, just with the location, it is a chakra that connects you to the earth. It's a very grounding chakra. It's also, red in color. The element that is associated with it, and there are 5 elements: earth, water, ether, air, and fire. And this particular chakra is associated with earth. And the balanced state of this chakra gives you a sense of grounding, security. You feel that you belong. And a lot of things, when this chakra is imbalanced, relate to you not feeling secure in that point in time. A lot of changes in your life give you anxiety, make you fearful of change. It definitely, each chakra point is connected to organs and endocrine system and the rest of your body, and we'll get into that. But what I wanted to kind of emphasize with the chakra is, like, this is your basic sense of belonging, sense of grounding, a feeling of confidence that yes, you're where you're meant to be in that moment in time. And one of the conditions that's associated with imbalance in this chakra is depression, where you feel like you don't want to be where you are in life. There are a lot of negative emotions, anger, depression, depressive thoughts that are associated with this. The endocrine gland that's associated with the root chakra is your adrenal gland, your fight or flight. It's basic survival instincts. And you tend to be more sympathetic toned if the chakra is off balance. And once your balance is brought in, the parasympathetic has an overdrive over the sympathetic, and it relaxes a lot of your body functions. It definitely deals with the alimentary system, excretion, your hip joints, your lower extremity. A lot of balancing, when you think about the chakra, comes in an asana in which you're feeling grounded. So that's your lotus pose. When you are doing a full mountain pose, it's a very grounding chakra, a pose for this chakra. And you want to create an intention with this chakra, with any chakra that you're trying to balance, especially with the root chakra. If you're focusing on this, whether it is through your asana class or through a 10-minute meditation that you focus on the side, and I would suggest that if this is yoga is new to you, I would focus on one chakra a week and go deep into that chakra, really trying to balance the energies out. And the meditation I like to do is, kind of just focusing on the beautiful red light that's in the base, imagining it move clockwise. And the affirmation, which is very, very important with everything that you're doing in yoga, the affirmation, what you're sending out, your thought is connected to everything that's happening in your body. And it's very important to be in a place where you feel safe and you want to think those thoughts as well. So I am always safe and connected to the earth. I belong. And that is the intention you put out as you're working on this chakra. So you have the asanas and you have the meditation. And one of the classes, and most likely the class we're going to do tomorrow, is going to focus on just the lower 3 chakras. I give a lot of importance to balancing these 3 chakras. I did want to share with you this beautiful magazine because it had some illustrations done really well by a artist, Peter Welterbird, and this is a painting that he has made, and I hope you can see it. So you see the child, and that is your root chakra. And you have his mother here who's gonna help him with his diet and guide him on healthy eating. And then you have his father that puts him into more grounding activities. And that's, any activity that it's not just obviously the yoga asanas, but also activities like walking out in nature, anything that makes you feel grounded. Activities like being in a sport where you're interacting with others and you feel like you belong. Those are all exercises that really help balance this chakra. And he's made this beautiful elephant, which kind of represents the earth element, the grounding, like really heaviness. And a balanced Mooladhara chakra is when you're on top of the elephant and feeling very secure and know that the elephant is within your control. So I thought this was a beautiful painting, and it kind of emphasizes the importance of the Mooladhara chakra. Now, moving on to Swadishtana chakra. This is, a water-based chakra. It's located in your pelvis, where the reproductive organs are. It's a beautiful orange color, and if you see behind me, a lot of what we do in my spa is, our meditation room is called the ether room, and I focus on energy and empowerment of the body based on the chakras. And so a lot of the images that we have are on the chakra system. So this is a beautiful tapestry that, you can't see the bottom, but it's red. And then you have orange, yellow. So orange is the color of your second chakra. It's located in the pelvis. And the element is water, and the color is orange. And a lot of times if you see diagrams, you'll also see lotus petals. So the Mooladhara was 4 petals. The second chakra is about 6 petals. The endocrine gland that's associated is your reproductive glands. And a lot of the balanced state of this chakra is creativity. It's expression of creativity, very healthy sexual activity, a balanced sexual state where you have good libido. A lot of health problems that are associated with the chakra are related to your reproductive organs. And now I find this chakra to be very, very important physiologically for our body, because it is really where the body is connected through this chakra to our emotional body. And if you think about it, a lot of our interactions in life are associated with our emotions when we connect with people. And especially, like, for example, if you think about your sexual partners, if you have a sexual relationship, but you don't really feel emotionally connected to that person, that becomes a real imbalance in the body, and the body is confused, and it definitely causes blockages in the chakra. So having that emotional connection to your sexual partner, the emotion part and the physical part, is very important to keep this chakra balanced. So a lot of times when I see clients in my spa, and for us it's 98% women, but this is men or women. You can have an imbalance in the chakra, and a lot of it is related to relationships and related to our emotional connections with people around us. And because it's so connected to our emotional body is very intricately associated with our pituitary gland, our adrenal gland, where cortisol is produced, and there are a lot of physiologic changes that happen in the body because of stress and anxiety and different thought patterns. So there is a article that I wrote in a scientific journal that's going to be published next month or February on the emotional body, which is a very new concept for the scientific world, but it's definitely something that we should be talking about in this day and age when we want to bring well-being into our lives and in our patients' lives, bringing the impact of an emotional body on the physiologic state of our being. That's very important. So certain postures that are good for Swadishtana are your hip opening postures. Again, we'll do some hip openers in class, but the meditation would focus on the orange light in that chakra, and I always like to imagine it spinning clockwise as a circle. And the intention you want to put out for this chakra is that I flow with the rhythms of my life. It's fluid. Everything in this chakra is very, it's water is the element. So you want to imagine and you want to put the intention that you flow smoothly with everything that life brings you, and you're able to ride on the waves of your emotion. So that is the intention you're putting out. And the painting that this really creative artist has made is of this boy and this crocodile. I don't know if you can see the crocodile clearly, but he represents the desire and the creativity and the artist element of an individual. And he depicts the adolescent to be painting or being involved in creative arts like music, art, or any type of creativity that helps to balance the chakra. This is also where you develop attraction and you have desire for a sexual contact. And so all those elements, when they're connected with your emotions and your body in a healthy way, will help balance this chakra out. And the blue represents the water element. Now moving on to the next chakra is the Manipura chakra, which I give a lot of importance to because Manipura is your solar plexus right here. It's like a little slightly above your navel and below your rib cage and the center point. And it is a very bright yellow light, very, very bright. And it's kind of like your junction, I like to think about, from your lower chakras and all your higher chakras. So your lower chakras are your reality, or things that ground you in reality: sex, water, food, money, survival things that you need. Whereas your higher chakras are the ones for enlightenment and connecting you to a broader, expansive way of thinking. They all sound exciting, but a lot of work needs to be done down here to get to the higher chakras. So the solar plexus, like I said, is a beautiful yellow color. It's connected to the mental body, or manomaya kosha. It's connected to the mental body. So mental impressions that we have in our journey. So whether it's in childhood, certain ways of thinking, or how we have been raised, societies, or religious beliefs, all of these create impressions on this chakra. And a lot of, the choices we make in life, whether they turn out good for us or not good for us, are based on what we call blockages, or balanced or imbalanced part of this chakra. So like your gut instincts. Oh, my gut tells me I shouldn't be doing this, but you know what? It's always worked this way for me, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway. So you don't listen to your gut, but you're just going to do it anyway because that's what you've been told is the way to do. And so it's very important to kind of break those shells of what you have been taught or you have been told, and kind of keep your mind open or be mindful of other ways of approaching things. And that is one way I look at the Manipura chakra, is that it's a collection of impressions or restrictions that we have built over our lifetime that creates blockages in this solar plexus. So like I said, it's kind of like your doorway to get into the spiritual aspect, or the more expanded version of you. So very, very important to focus a lot of time and effort in unblocking this chakra or empowering this chakra. So it's, you know, your typical imbalanced state of the Manipura chakra is low self-esteem, lack of energy, you know, not feeling confident in your decisions, not being able to present yourself in a way where you feel like you belong, being confident about what work you're doing and whether you should be doing that work. It's kind of like being in a place where you just feel like, I totally don't belong here. It's just this feeling of insecurity, constant insecurity. The body areas, because of the location, you would imagine it's covering all of your gut and your alimentary system, your liver, your pancreas. So those are the glands that are associated with it. So, you know, blockages also reflect in, I don't think I mentioned this, but the element here is fire, the bright yellow color. The element is fire. And so a lot of the digestive work is done. And if there are blockages, then you can have conditions that affect the gut, affect the liver, affect the pancreas. And certain asanas that are really good for Manipura chakra is your twisting asanas. So the ones that we did, some spinal twists that day, we're going to do some more in our class. And the pranayama that's really good for your solar plexus is the fire breath, which definitely I will make sure that we teach you the fire breath at least. There's so much to go over when it comes to breath work, but definitely the fire breath, I will bring it into one of the classes. So you guys can experience that and take it to your own personal practice. And the intention, and I'm very big on intentions, and if you follow us on Kavita Berry MD or Be Mind Body Skin on Instagram, you'll see we put an intention. We have a staff intention board, and every single member of our staff here at the spa writes an intention for the day. So you really set that out, you put that out in the universe, and then you let your day kind of build upon that. And for the Manipura chakra, when you're sitting to balance the chakra, the intention is, I live with abundant energy and vitality. So you're putting that into your mind, you're putting that out in the universe, and you're focusing your mind channels right here onto the Manipura chakra, whether it's with your breath, whether while you're doing your asana practice, you're visualizing the beautiful yellow light. Again, I would say doing one chakra a week will give you the focus for balancing it. And so I think I covered the 3 lower chakras. There's, I promise you, I've left some stuff out because this is way too short of a time to cover, you know, the chakras, but you'll definitely get a lot of information when you are on your own quest of balancing your chakras, and I would highly encourage you to do that. So the next video I'll make is on the heart chakra and the higher chakras. So let us know if you have any questions. I will put in a link to a blog, and that's also on BeMindBodySkin.com. If you actually go on that website, you will see a lot of blogs related to well-being, mindfulness, yoga. I have really great authors that send us their blogs, and they're all into holistic living and lifestyle, and it's just a ton of volumes of information there. So I would highly encourage those of you that are interested in making well-being a part of your life, and how you can bring that for your patients and the people you connect with. It's a great resource. So definitely check us out on BeMindBodySkin.com, and follow us on Instagram, Kavita Berry MD or Be Mind Body Skin. And yeah, let us know if you have any other questions. So stay tuned for the next video on the chakras. Namaste.